Hear the stories of men and women switching hustles and escaping the odds through entrepreneurship after prison. Not only will these stories inspire you, but also unlock business tips for financial freedom. Let's get it.
Thank you all for tuning in to another dope episode of Escaping the Odds. We are on number 16. Can you believe it? 16 episodes in strong, and we are continuing to celebrate International Women's Month. And today I have a young lady here, Sarita Landrum, and she is the CEO of Go-To Chef
Yes.
which is a catering service in Chicago. And she has a unique story, has a passion for culinary, but also spent some time incarcerated in federal prison. So we'll get into that and get into the business behind her catering service. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for coming, too, as well.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Doing great.
All right, a little nervous?
Yeah, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, talk to us. Let the audience know, because you don't look like someone who spent time in prison. And the crazy part about it, all of my guests, most of us don't have a certain look. I mean, I don't know if there is a certain look, but there's some people you can look at and tell, like, okay, he may or she may have spent some time in prison, right? You know,
Yeah.
So just being honest about it. But you definitely don't fit the profile, quote unquote. And so let's talk about that. Like, what happened? What led you down that path of the system?
Well, years ago, about 10 years ago, I was going through little self-esteem problems, issues, and things of that nature. I was very naive.
Okay.
I had no idea about the streets. I had no idea about the games that were, out there. I was just naive. I went to church, family, and I came home, went to work. And so I used to work at a banking institution. And this guy approached me about, he said, I want to wire some money in and out some accounts. I'm like, what you want to wire? You need your own accounts. So anyway, that led to a whole scam and scheme where he stole money from people's accounts.
Okay.
And he had people working at Currency Exchange, Walmart, everything, unbeknownst to me.
Okay.
So
and you were just pretty much a pawn.
I was a pawn. I was naive to believe, he would give me money, or he would, he liked me, or, to do these things. And so that led me to being sentenced in 2011 to 60 months.
Okay.
In
5 years.
5 years
Okay.
in a federal facility.
Okay. All right. And so with that whole experience, I know your family was probably shocked. You say you come from a church background.
Correct.
Never been involved in the criminal justice system.
Girl Scout,
Yeah.
preacher's kid. So yes.
How did they take all this news of you?
Very disappointed.
Okay.
Very disappointed. Hurts and couldn't believe it. Couldn't, in a state of shock. But at the end of the day, was a very good support system for me. If I did not have my family support, I don't know, things could have turned out differently for me.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful to God that I had their support.
And so that first day, well, actually, let's talk about when you got sentenced. So going in, did you already kind of know the kind of time that you were facing?
No, I actually met with my attorney. That was kind of a weird thing. He was telling me all this time I was going to get probation. It was my first offense.
Because they calculated like the loss amount, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And it was a huge loss amount.
Okay. How much was it, if you mind me asking?
Over $500,000.
Okay.
And so...
Now, in the total scheme of things.
Correct.
You didn't receive the $500,000.
No, I didn't receive any funds whatsoever.
Oh,
Nothing.
Wow. So you just doing this as a favor.
Correct. At the end of the day, very naive. Yeah. And so the day that I was supposed to go to court for sentencing, I met with my attorney, me and my mother, and he was saying, well, it looks like you're going to get jail time. And all this time, I had been on pretrial for 3 years. Okay. And he was saying, you're going to get probation, you're going to get probation. And here come the day of sentencing. Looks like you're going to get jail time.
But chances are he knew.
He knew, but it wasn't expressed to me.
Okay, right.
And so, standing in that courtroom, I have a co-defendant.
Okay.
We were tried joint but several.
Okay.
And standing in front of the judge and him saying that you're a smart girl. Yeah. For you to go this route from 0 to 100, it just boggles the mind. He said you are very naive, and that hit me. None of this seemed real. Because I was in denial, going through some things myself.
Right.
None of this seemed real. And until the judge said, you done this, you belong to church, you do community service. How? He couldn't believe it. Yeah. He said, how could you just get involved with somebody like my co-defendant? Right. I didn't have an answer. And so that's just what it was. And when I got sentenced, it was like, okay, what do I do now? Right. And it was like death on my mom's face. It was like she just couldn't believe it. It was like, what did I do to her? I wasn't even thinking about myself. It was, what did I do to her? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So with learning the time, and did you have an opportunity to learn a little bit about the law? And as far as like now, do you kind of understand like with the fraud statutes and things like that? Because a lot of times.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I originally, the prosecutor was going for bank fraud, and they trumped it up to mail fraud. Okay, that was a Class B correct felony. Okay. And that carried more jail time. Okay. And they were trying to make an example out of me. Okay. Yeah. Wow. And so that's the way it was. And my lawyer we took it. Right. And because that carried a term of like, I don't know how many years, but it was more than 5. Right. It was more than 5. So, yeah. Okay.
And so once your first day in prison.
First day in prison. My brother.
But you self-surrendered.
I self-surrendered.
Okay. And that pretty much means that you kind of go to prison
on my own.
Have a certain date and time.
Correct. To turn yourself in. And that was like a whole emotional, mental.
Yeah. What was that ride like?
First of all, let me tell you, I got sentenced to Pekin, Illinois. Okay.
And you're from Chicago.
I'm from Chicago, right. And we took that ride. It was my father and my brother. Right. I didn't want to put my mom through that. Exactly. And so I'm going there, we eating it, joking, but at the same time, I'm like...
What was the last thing you ate?
What was the last thing I ate?
I remember the last thing I ate.
I think it was like some chicken or something.
I ate a chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich, okay. I think... Was it chicken? I ate it. It might have been some Wendy's or something that we got. And I arrived to Pekin. Yeah. I'm nervous. I'm just like, okay. And the guard is like, well, ma'am, I don't think you want to turn yourself in here. There's a men's prison. Right. So I'm like, I didn't get all the nerves. Right. And I'm like, okay, I'm finna do this. Y'all wait in the parking lot. And he's like, there's a men's prison. So he was like, well, you need to go drive 2 more hours. And in Greenville, they know you're coming. Right. So whatever. By this time, you're told, be here at this time. Yeah. Or you're late, or the people come to look for you. Right. And so we drove down to Greenville. Mm-hmm. And I had to do this all over again. And it was an experience. It was like, I never forget my brother's face of me walking. I never forget that. I will never forget that.
A long mile.
Yeah. It felt like his face... was like, I'm never going to see you again. Like, I'm just, like, I wish I can take this away from you, but I can't. Right. And so, that was just the self-surrender. That day was just a total emotional, I was a wreck. Mm-hmm. But then I couldn't go on the whole stripping you down and getting registered. And I'm a female.
I was about to get to that part. When they asked me, like, what do you want to send your body or your belongings?
Yes, that box.
It's like what?
That box.
Yeah. It's like, man. It's basically they saying, okay, you might not walk up out of here. Anything
correct,
can happen.
Correct, and that was scary. Your when they asking you about your next of kin, and then the whole thing of them checking your person out and your clothes, and they throw all your clothes in this box and put your name and a number on this box. And that's all that you knew. That's all that you had. And so you're walking into some place with nothing.
And I'm going to tell you something else. What a lot of people may not know listening is that they never call you by your first name.
Correct.
It's always Smith, 1-877-984-24, or just Smith, right? So... like, I don't think I heard my name from a staff member, my first name.
I've never heard my name from a staff member. Yeah. And that kind of makes you feel kind of inhumane. Yeah. To me, it did. Right. Because I'm a person. Right. I just had a mistake in my life. And now I'm here, and I felt like I was a cow being marked, and this is my number, 419-424-424.
Exactly,
and I felt like that was me.
Right.
So.
Wow. Okay. So you got yourself settled in. I'm sure you probably met some homegirls.
I did,
so to speak, and probably built some lasting relationships and friendships.
I did. I have some really good sisters. When you go through an experience like that, you have nothing. You're a bear.
Right.
And it's you can't put on airs. Pretty soon everybody find out.
Exactly.
Everybody find out what you're in there for.
Exactly.
So everybody is just you're stripped naked, like physically and mentally.
Exactly. It's a vulnerable space to be in.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So when you're at that level and time in your life and you meet genuine people, I find that's rare, but I find you hold those friendships near and dear.
Right.
So I've met attorneys, I've met senators, I've met business women, smart women teachers, all walks of life that I would have never thought. I thought I would never be in those circumstances. And you meet people who have children and are grandmothers and aunts, and they're in the same situation you are.
Right.
So just trying to get by day by day, waiting on the mail.
Mail call. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you in there, you all settled in, and you got a job, right? I know they send most people to the kitchen, at least in the federal system.
They do. They send you straight to the kitchen.
You know somebody.
Correct.
Or you on top of your business. As soon as you get in there, like, hey, I ain't going to the kitchen.
Right.
So but for most people, it's not like that.
For most people, they send you straight to the kitchen.
Right. But
and
the kitchen is cool for you.
That's
right?
a cool job.
You in catering, right? You always had a passion for food.
I always had a passion for food and food service.
Okay.
So when they were like, your job is the kitchen, I was like, well, okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I know I didn't want to work in the gym. I didn't want to work in the yard.
Right, yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so what was that position?
I started in sanitation.
Okay.
And sanitation is you're cleaning.
Right. So you're
not doing any cooking. You're not touching anything but a rag and some Echo Shine.
Right.
So you're cleaning, you're sweeping, you're mopping, you're polishing.
Okay.
Stainless steel. Yeah. That's all you're doing. Right. Pretty much.
What was food like?
The food, I was in 2 correctional facilities, and the food in one place, it was okay. Okay. And when I got transferred and went to a new facility, it was better. Okay. It was much better. We got a broad range of things. Okay. And I was grateful for that. Yeah. The food was okay. The commissary, it was a little expensive because you're only making 80 cents, sometimes 40 cents, a day. Right. Yeah. And so, but you learn how to budget with your little coins in there and whatever somebody put on your books. Right. So
definitely. Okay. And so once you start working in the kitchen, you realize that this is something you can do once you came home. Was it something you was already doing?
I was already doing it. I think I was running away from food service. Okay. I worked in restaurants before. I've been a corporate trainer before for a restaurant chain. Okay. But I've always did other things. And so while there working sanitation, the guard noticed me. He asked me, did I know how to cook? And I was like, yeah. Yeah. So he started me out. I was like an assistant cook, and then about maybe 2 months, the way things went, I was a grade 1 cook in that facility.
And so you were cooking for about how many people?
I was cooking for about maybe 330, but maybe 400 women. Okay. So I was responsible for breakfast and lunch.
And they gonna tell you if it's
oh yeah, right. You gon' let me tell you, you gonna know as soon as they change cooks, as soon as somebody does something to get kicks out the kitchen and you move up. Yeah. Well, they cooking. Rita in the kitchen today. Let's see how she doing. And you got macaroni and cheese on Friday, and let's see her macaroni and cheese and how that turns out. They know it. They gonna tell you it sucked.
Every Wednesday y'all had burgers too, right?
Every Wednesday was hamburgers.
Hamburger day. No matter where you
no
at.
Matter what. No matter what. It was hamburgers. But we had this new facility, they had a flat top grill though. It was like about the length of this table. Yeah. And so I don't know what happened before I got there. They had stopped putting the grills on putting the burgers on the grill. They had put them in the oven. And so when I got there, I was like, can we just put the burgers on the grill? Can I put a little salt and pepper on them? And he just, the guard reluctantly was like, sure, we can do it. Okay. He was like, if something go wrong, it's on you and we never having this again. I said, okay.
Right. That made a world of a difference, though.
It sure did.
Yeah, small things like that
you can smell the hamburgers across the yard. Yeah. You can, and everybody came to lunch. Yeah. Everybody came to lunch. So this just a small.
But I'm gonna tell you something also, and you know this as well. Like, to work in the kitchen as a cook, that's really like the number one spot, because the most people, you might not get paid much, but you got a whole lot of perks.
You got a perks.
You get selling vegetables, you get selling food. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying I did any of that.
Right, yeah.
But what I'm saying, you have access.
Hypothetically speaking.
Right. You have access to extra things.
Exactly, yeah.
Things that come in before things get expired. Exactly, you take them to people.
Well, get too old, because a lot of stuff is already old.
Correct. You just juicing it up a little bit.
Right, yeah.
But yes, you get perks. That's the job that you want to have, is in the kitchen. So you do get perks, and you do, a lot of people don't know, but I had to get up at 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
And, for every day, to get breakfast ready for everybody to get up. So,
but you also, not only inside of the kitchen you cook, but also when you went back to the dorm and you cooked as well. And so that was
absolutely.
You only had microwaves.
We only had microwaves. We didn't have I heard some people had the little hot water thing, and no, we only had microwaves.
Right, but you can make some hell of a meals in that microwave.
You can, the things that I thought on the outside that were impossible, you can make anything in that microwave. Yeah. I mean, the best fried rice.
Oh my God!
In a popcorn bag, you can you can make
real quick, because I want to get into the catering business, right?
Okay.
But they got to know this, right?
Okay.
Talk about that. How do you whip up rice in a popcorn
bag?
Man,
it's just. Okay, so you just have this empty used popcorn bag, and you have white rice, or you can use brown rice. Now we have brown rice now, and so you put the rice in the bag, then you have your little soy sauce and your little seasonings, and you shake it up, get the butter off the bag, and you just put it in the microwave, and you cook it, and you shake it up again, get the little seasonings off, and then the rice is done.
Right.
And so that you take it out, you put the little soy sauce in there, put the little, they put Goya, whatever they want, noodle pack, put the color on it.
Noodle to give it a little stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so it's the best fried rice. And it doesn't taste the same on the outside.
So better in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And people have their own recipes. People making Alfredo noodles.
I've seen people make rice. Again, in the microwave using Coca-Cola.
Yes. I forgot
peanut butter.
Coca-Cola is the one that fried. Yeah.
Okay, so the catering business, right? So
yes.
Now you inside, you're out now. Mm-hmm. Release, and now you got to figure out, what am I going to do?
Right.
Work. Now you've already had a professional career, right? So
correct.
I mean, finding work won't be that hard, I'm assuming.
I thought it wasn't that hard. I had to brush up on my resume. Right. I did go through a program called CARA with the city, 237 South Des Plaines, and
look,
they actually helped me put my mind in focus of what I actually wanted to do with my life. And it was personal development. It was professional development. Right. They helped me fine tune my resume. Yes, I had a resume. Yeah. I worked professional jobs, but now what does Sarita really want to do with her life? Mm-hmm. And how do I clean up this area when an employer asks me, what have you been doing in the last 4 years? Okay, and so that was real deal for me. Yeah. And so coming out to that and accepting who I was now, because when I went in versus when I came out, I was a totally different person.
Right. In a good way.
In a great way. Right, yeah. In a great way. And a lot of people think it's weird. I thank God for me going to prison.
Exactly. I say the same thing.
I thank God, because if I did not go, my life could have turned out somewhere else. And I don't even want to imagine what that could be. Right. So now I'm blessed to have had the opportunity to have had those experiences. Not everything was good.
Right. No,
not everything was good in there. I've been mistreated, and just a lot of negative things have happened. But I survived. I persevered, and I'm out.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and doing your thing with Go-To Chef Rita. So with the business, you're out and you're building this brand up. So let's talk about that. Like what are you doing right now with the business?
Sure. So I cater, and I do have a love of food. I went to culinary school, and I wanted to be. That's my side hustle. I do have a full-time job, but catering is a real big business.
Right.
If you want to do it for yourself, if your family members tell you, "Oh, you cook this great, you need to open up your restaurant." "Oh, can you do my baby shower?" This that. Well, if this is something that you actually want to do, then I say stick with your idea. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. Stick with your idea. Decide what you do best. So whether it's making salads, you have unique salads and you make your own salad dressings, or whether it's you make salad sandwiches, whether it's you do meal prep.
Sandwich?
Sandwiches. You make jerk chicken wraps, and maybe your jerk chicken wraps are the bomb. You found this little tomato basil wrap that you like. Stick to what you know, okay, because that's what you're most familiar with, and that makes you unique. Okay, and two, draw you up a business plan. You want to get organized. You just don't want to make it. How do you take these ideas and you put them on paper?
Right.
So how do you formulate that? How do you get everything together where you're organized? How do you get what you actually want to do in the cost to run it?
Okay.
That's two. And then you want to get all your certifications.
Okay. Now, what does that look like?
So that looks like getting, for the state of Illinois, you need your ServSafe, your Food Protective Manager certificate. So what that means, you have to take a class. You can either go to a proctor or you can take them online.
Okay.
But you have to pay for these classes. The certification is good for 5 years.
Okay.
And
that's only for Illinois?
That's for Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin.
Okay.
You can, each state has their own requirements. Okay. But for the state of Illinois, it's ServSafe, and you can go on ServSafe.com. Okay. It's issued through the National Restaurant Association.
Okay.
So you have to get your certifications up. You have to get, you need that. If this is going to be, your business, you need something more than a food handler's certificate, which is just a basic handling food operation. You need that too, but you need something more than that.
Okay. Also, what about serving alcohol?
Serving alcohol, they have ServSafe as well. If you go on the ServSafe website, there are exams for your manager certificate. Okay. There are exams for the food handlers. There are exams for allergen training, as well as alcohol, where you can get certified in serving and distributing alcohol.
Okay. You say allergen training. Allergen
training. So this is new. New maybe like 3 to 5 years. Okay. That's relatively new. So when you're working in an establishment, if you're working in a restaurant, if you're working in a restaurant, usually the head chef or the sous chef would have to get allergen trained. So what that means is the different allergies that are in food. So whether you know what to do, the precautions, whether somebody has a peanut allergy, all the allergens, soy, the different allergens, whether it be soy fish, shellfish, and you know how to deal with that.
Now that could be deadly. So
correct.
With your clients, are you asking them
that's number one?
Okay.
That's number one, because I'm allergic to fish.
Okay.
I'm allergic to fish, and that's a big deal. Okay. So I'm always asking, when you're doing a party and when you're catering, do you need a gluten-free meal? That's an option. Do you need a vegetarian meal? Okay. Is anybody kosher or halal? So those are different, and that makes you unique. Yeah. So whether I'm just going again, whether your niche is sandwiches, if you're going to offer pork products, if it's going to be all turkey or chicken, if you're going to do kosher items, if you have a vegetarian, if you're going to offer shrimp salads, if you're going to offer, so whatever makes you unique. But if you do offer vegetarian items, if you do offer kosher or halal, those things kind of set you apart. Right. And a lot of people, the way the world is moving, the way the food service industry is moving now, a lot of people are, gluten intolerant. So they have all these special things going on, allergens and intolerances that you have to be aware of.
So what sets you apart?
What sets me apart? Sarita does everything.
Okay.
Sarita does everything. So whether it's a baby shower, whether it's a wedding repast, I'm culinarily trained, and so I know the questions to ask. I'm not going to turn you down and say no. So and that's where I come from. So that's what sets me apart. I don't have I do have a set menu, but whatever the client wants, we can work around and build them a menu. I don't get stuck to where I'm only having chicken, baked potato, and broccoli.
Okay.
No. So if you come to me, you want, hey, I want to do a lobster bar with this, and this. Okay, we're going to figure out how we can get it done. Okay. And that's kind of how I operate.
So outside of the food, would you also say that the experience, you're selling that as well?
Absolutely.
When you're doing catering business?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you might have a client I had one client who wanted me to do a drop-off service. Okay. But when I showed up in my chef whites and the food was a party for their daughter, they was like, well, can she stay? Mm-hmm. Can she stay and serve it? And it was like their own personal thing where they had their own personal chef to serve the food. Now, I did give a little surcharge, because that's my labor. Yeah. But it was something, I didn't have anything else going on. Okay. It was a child's, birthday party. Right. And I could accommodate. Okay. I could accommodate.
Perfect. I like that. You also said that you had a surcharge for your labor.
Correct.
Now, I want to get into cost a little bit.
Sure.
And so, with your labor and the cost of goods as far as your food and things of that nature, like, if I wanted to create my own catering service, like, what are some of the costs I should be looking at? So, you have to, you're going to start from that idea. Yeah. Then you're going to move into inventory. What do I need to make this business work? Okay. And you're going to go into pots and pans, disposable items. You need shafer sets, spatulas. That goes into the seasonings that you use. So all of that is included in your price. Okay. Plus, included in your overhead, plus what your hourly rate is going to be, your labor. Okay. Also, a lot of people don't know, I don't cook in my home. So a lot of caterers, if they want, you start off small, you do what you can do, but you can't cook in your home. Wow. You have to be in a place where it is inspected. So my advice to those who want to do catering is to start off in a shared kitchen, commercial kitchen. Not so what expensive though? It can be and it can't be. You just have to get creative. You just have to be creative, and you can start by. I started in church, so you can start by your neighborhood church. Usually 9 times out of 10, they have a kitchen. They run a food pantry. Somebody's license is on the wall for them to be open, so it's already been inspected. So all you gotta do is kick them. Like, what can I do to rent out your kitchen for 2 to 3 hours? And where can I store my, my food or whatever I need? Right. And so you make those kind of things until you're able to, get your money up, and start. You can and most chefs do have, if they do in catering or events here and there, they do have. They rent out a shared commercial kitchen. Okay. And so you have refrigeration there, you have stoves there, grills or whatever, and you already have seasoning. You just pay a fee a month. You pay your little rent or booth rent. Okay. A month, and you come in and you do your thing, and then you're out. Okay, so basically you have your own little space as well. Correct. Okay. Correct. And so that's for an allotted amount of time. Like, okay, I need to be here for this whole month. My slot is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So whatever you want to negotiate. Okay. So whatever you want to negotiate. Like I said, you can start as small as using, you can talk to the pastor at neighborhood church. Right. A lot of these community colleges, they have a culinary department, and they do have a catering department. Okay. And you can, it might be for a small fee. You can go in there and do your catering prep or whatever for a small fee. All right. So what's too much money for a shared kitchen to be asking? It depends. Okay. It depends. I really can't say, because my budget and what the amount of catering I do is not what you do. But some people pay $500 to $700 a month. A month. Okay. All right. And so, but that all should be included in your
Yes, in your business operations.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Correct. So that goes all included into how much you charge your client, how much you charge your client, and how much you're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
This is your business. So however much the savings or what you got to do Uber and Lyft, or you got to, supplement that.
Yeah.
If this is what you really want to do, go for it.
And to think about it though, $500 a month for a shared kitchen, like the value in that, like you can easily, especially if you're doing a decent amount of business.
Yeah, you can get that back. You can get that back. You can get that back.
Like big party and event. Like, do you hire other people? Like, say you have a party of 50 people. Is that too much for you?
No.
Or, okay.
So usually, if I have a party over, I'll say 65 or more,
okay.
I will hire somebody else.
Okay.
And it just depends. Sometimes it's a drop-off service, so I'm prepping everything myself, throw everything in the oven, and I'm dropping it off to the client. I'm not staying there to serve anybody or any. I don't have to set up anything.
Okay.
I'm just dropping off food and I can go.
Okay.
Now, if the client would like me to stay and would like wait staff, and then I have to hire somebody for that.
And you have a contractor or a business you go through to actually hire that wait staff?
I do, to a certain extent. Like I have people that I've gone to culinary school with.
Okay.
I always, spread the wealth around. I surround myself with chefs. People are going the same direction I am going to. So it's always somebody who is like, well, you need a server, or you need somebody to help you bartend, or you need. So I've made connections, and that's another thing. You have to network.
Okay.
You have to get out here and network and sell yourself.
Right.
And the jobs where I worked, I've been blessed to find people that I need, or in contexts where they can throw me some business, or say I got somebody for you that can help you.
Yeah. One thing I'm noticing is that a lot of corporations are utilizing like catering kind of services, whether
Absolutely.
it's a drop-off or
Absolutely.
whatever kind. That's part of the perks of working at that particular company, especially a lot of these tech companies. Like they do catering probably every week.
Every day. I have my best friend. She works at a law firm, and they have conferences for lawyers, and they different catering, and they call this catering company up, and they come in and daily.
Okay. Wow.
Daily. So it can be one, it could be the same company, or it can be different company, just depending on the needs.
Yeah. So there's so much opportunity.
Absolutely.
You just have to really just think about it, right? Outside of the friends and families, but start thinking about like these corporations, these schools, and places like that to get those nice size contracts where it can be actually lucrative for you.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you just have to get out there. You have to get out there. And I was pushed to learn how to network. Right. It's uncomfortable, but again, you're talking about yourself.
Right.
And if this is something that you have a passion for and you really want to do it. Okay. And the reward is very, at the end of the day, this has been the only job or career that I have had that I can be on my feet 12, 14 hours. And I'm like, they're like, oh, you mean your food was good? And I'm satisfied. Right. And I can get up and do it over again.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's dope. You definitely got a passion.
I do.
For what you're doing. So,
I do.
There's one last thing I want to talk to you about, and it kind of really struck me as I never heard of it. It's a egg breaker license.
The egg breaker license.
Yeah.
Yes.
That seems like something they just get money for. No comment, but go ahead.
Correct.
All right.
So if you're serving eggs, or they have an egg breaker license, if you're serving eggs, the people want their money, and it's $200. It's $200. If you are serving meat, the U.S. Department of Agriculture wants $50, and that's an annual fee.
Okay.
That's the annual fee. But they have websites that you can go to. Your individual state that you can go to, and you can look up what are the fees associated with catering or running a food truck business or a restaurant, and they will be able to tell you. But it's a lot, depending on what you want to do, it can be a lot of overhead. Yeah. This is an investment. Into you. Yeah. Into you. So I'm not saying it cannot be done. Yeah. You just have to get creative and figure out which lane you want to move in.
Okay, got you. Mm-hmm. Got you. Okay, so what's next? What you got going on next? What do we need to know about? How can we support you, my listeners, and
Okay.
whoever wants to contact you, how do we do that?
You can go to the number 2 chef Ree REE at gmail.com.
Okay.
You can also check out my Instagram. That's my business page at the number 2 chef Ree
Okay.
REE. That's my Instagram.
Okay.
See.
Any words of wisdom want to drop on us?
Yes. Though you have made mistakes in life, or, you did it, you didn't do it, you served time, you got out, there is always hope. There is always hope. And you can do anything that you want to do. You just have to do it. Right. You have to have the fire inside you to do it. And if you have a great support system, and sometimes you have to be your own support system. Yeah. Sometimes you have to say, girl, you got to get up. Yeah, I mean, you got to get up and do it. Right. So anything you want to do, you can do it. Got you.
Perfect. Well, there we have it. Episode number 16, and she concludes the Women's International Guest for Women International Month. And so this has been a dope interview. Learned so much about her and about the catering business, food business as a whole. And so definitely reach out to her for any kind of catering needs. So I'm sure she's open to kind of provide information as relates to food service or whatever. Continue to tune in to Escaping the Odds podcast. I can be found on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that podcasts can be played. You can find Escaping the Odds there. I am your host, Aaron Smith, where we continue to unlock freedom, opportunities over penitentiary. So let's continue to get it, and let's continue to support one another. And thank you all. Oh, one last thing. My sponsors. I can't forget the sponsors. Dean DiPiero Consulting helps out with law firm, with law work, anything of that nature. Reach out to him. Also, listen to the bonus episode as well on the podcast. I think it's really, really great informative information as it relates to legal services and just law as a whole. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. Peace.
What's free? Free is when nobody else can tell us